This is a video I'm making for my friend Keith. He recently reached out to me and shared with me that he's been stuck at the 3.5 level for the past 2 years. And he shared with me that he feels like he's so stuck because he cannot win hands battles. He feels like his hands are extremely slow. And so in answer to your question, Keith, and hopefully thousands of others, I'm gonna be teaching you how to have super fast hands when you're up at the net. And I can't think of a better example than the current world #1, Dylan Frazier. And there are 5 specific things that he does that makes his hands so quick. And we're gonna talk about that now. #1 is Dylan's ready position. Now everybody has a slightly different ready position. I'm not saying to copy Dylan's exactly, because if you look into the pros, there's no pro that has the same exact ready position as another pro. They do what's most comfortable for them, but I would say it gives you a really good guide to follow and at least start out with, and then you can do what's more comfortable and what you find works. But his obviously works. He's the #1 player in the world, so he's a really, really good standard to follow. He starts by having his feet just outside his shoulders, okay? He has a wider stance. Wider you go, the lower down that you're going to get, okay? Obviously, you're gonna have more balance as well. The further in that you come, the less balance that you have, the less agile you are and the harder it is to move. So being just outside your shoulders is a really good spot to be. And that's because it's not only gonna help you to be able to bend your knees lower, but also it's gonna be able to help you have that balance. He then has his paddle out in front of him, and the tip of his paddle is slightly pointing upwards and also pointing outwards. So this would be directly outwards. His has a slight upward tilt to it, signifying that his wrist is locked in place. And then the last thing to note, this helps him to have faster hands. This will actually take his non-dominant hand and he'll put it on the throat of his paddle prior to his opponent hitting the ball each time. So it's kind of like a tick. He probably doesn't even realize that he does it, who knows? But he'll put his non-dominant hand on that paddle prior to his opponent either dinking or maybe speeding up the ball. That way he's quicker at manipulating his paddle to either the backhand side or the forehand side. Because your wrist is only so strong, but if you add 2 wrists, you're gonna be quicker getting to both sides. So that's something that he does that helps him to get to both sides. That being said, he's going to be countering majority of the time with just one hand anyway. But it helps him to be able to get it to that side and then counter the ball. By the way, the sponsor of this video is Titan. This is the ball machine that I use. I absolutely love it. It's the greatest ball machine of all time, has the greatest technology built into it, fastest motors, fastest ability to change from going super fast speed to super slow. It can hit you balls in every single direction. And the best part about it is that you just have to put it in one location, right at the center of the baseline, and it stays there throughout your entire training session. So I absolutely love that. It's extremely convenient. If you want to pick up one of these, you can get it for $100 off through my link. I'll link it right here as well as in the description. Let's continue with the video. #2 is that Dylan points the tip of his paddle towards the ball every single time. So this top edge of his paddle is always pointed towards wherever the ball is. If he dinks the ball cross court, he's then going to point his paddle cross court just like this. And what that does is it allows him to be able to have faster hands because he's now going to counter on that side. Whereas if they speed it up and it goes to his forehand side from that cross court position, that ball has to go wide. So it's not even an option for his opponents. Plus on this side, he can still counter over here with a backhand. So he's pointing the tip of his paddle towards the ball, and then he's just gonna counter the ball wherever it is. If he dinks directly in front of him, he's gonna point the tip of his paddle directly towards where that ball is. If his opponent speeds it up the line, he can easily get to his forehand side. If his opponent speeds it at his body, he can easily get to his backhand side because he's not favoring one side of his paddle or the other. He's giving himself a 50-50 opportunity to go to the backhand side or the forehand side. So often with amateur players, they won't be in that ready position. Either their paddle will be down here or they'll have it out in front, but they're not pointing it towards where the ball is. So since they're not pointing it towards where the ball is, they have their paddle out in front, their partner just dinked the ball cross court, and now they're gonna speed that ball up the line. There's no chance that they're getting to that ball because now they have to go all the way across their body to then get it to their forehand side, or vice versa, going from forehand side where they're holding it over here and now they have to go all the way to the backhand side. That's what causes them to be late. So remember, point the tip of your paddle towards wherever the ball is and you'll see that will instantly increase your hand speed. #3, Dylan stays extremely relaxed. So every time that he hits the ball, he's extremely relaxed, and that is because his elbows are in. They're not out. Some people are taught ready position to come out here and be ready for the ball to come. Obviously, I'm over exaggerating and have your elbows out, but you actually want to have your elbows in because it allows you more time to react to the ball. My elbows are out here. My paddle just pushed forward about 1 foot or 2. And so because of that, the ball's going to come back to my paddle a whole lot quicker. Whereas if my elbows are in like this, not only am I relaxed, but also I have more time to react to the ball. So it has both of those benefits. So he's in here, he slightly pushes out every single time that he grabs onto the throat of his paddle with his non-dominant arm. So right as his opponent's about to hit, he'll slightly come out, but he's still extremely relaxed. So you wanna make sure that you're not expending that extra energy and not really focusing on your ready position, having it out here, but that you're focusing on making sure that you are relaxed and ready to react to the ball. And if you ever watch Dylan, he is just as cool as a cucumber out on the court. His face doesn't show any emotion as he's hitting through the ball. It's almost like he can't be bothered to be out there. And this is significant because it shows that he is relaxed instead of being tense while he's out on the court. Whenever we want to hit a ball hard, we'll tense up. What this stiffness causes is less power as we hit through the ball because the ball isn't absorbing as well. So instead we want to be nice and loose, and it will instantly increase our reaction time. Number 4, Dylan stays extremely compact in his motion. Okay, his motion stays all out in front of him. He's never reaching behind himself. The paddle always stays within his peripheral vision, and that's why he has wicked fast hands and wicked fast reactions, because he never reaches behind himself. And you'll see this happen so often that people will be in a hands battle, and in order to get power back on the ball, they don't realize it, but their paddle's coming clear back here. Now, without realizing, they're coming into a late contact with the ball. Typically, they're popping the ball up, shanking the ball, hitting the ball wide, or maybe getting lucky and hitting a winner. But you just don't know what's gonna happen. It's not gonna be predictable. In order for us to know exactly where the ball is gonna go each time, we need to make sure that we keep our paddle out in front of us. Never go beyond the shoulder, never go beyond our peripheral vision, and keep that motion nice and compact. We don't need massive swings, especially when we're in a hands battle, and especially when we're defending against a speed up. Now, if they pop up the ball and it's a big overhead, then we can absolutely come behind our head and then smash that ball. That's a great opportunity too. If we're in a hands battle, we want to make sure that everything is staying out in front. Focus on not going beyond your peripheral vision. This is something that needs to absolutely be drilled as well. You're not just going to wake up tomorrow and be like, okay, I'm not going to go beyond my shoulder today. It's not gonna work that way. You have to drill it time and time again. Number 5, Dylan drills. He gets out, he gets his reps in, okay? He gets that work done. Something to take note of is he's drilling against probably the fastest hands in all of pickleball, JW Johnson, who's his men's doubles partner all the time. So with that, he's obviously gonna get faster hands. So it is great to get out and drill with people that are at least at your level, and if you can, drill with people that are slightly better, because that's instantly going to increase your hand speed by getting out and playing against someone that has faster hands. Now, a lot of you will think to yourselves, I don't have anybody to drill with, and you'll use that as an excuse, but there's no one that has faster hands than a wall. So if you can get out on a wall, you'll never beat the wall. It's obviously never going to miss. And every pro out there practices against a wall, okay? They also practice against players, but they practice against walls. Someone like Thomas Wilson uses the Dink Master. Okay, that's what I use. I use the Dink Master because it gives me an accurate rebound. I can tilt the wall to where it comes off just as if I was playing against an actual person. But that being said, you don't need a Dink Master to drill against a wall and increase your hand speed. Go find a wall. There's walls everywhere. Someone like Christian Alshon, he goes to racquetball courts and he practices against the wall. He has insanely fast hands. The reason that a Dink Master is more convenient is because you can just have it at your house. You could wake up in the morning, practice. Before you go to bed, you could practice. And the most important thing is to just get out there and drill. If you don't know what drills to do, I actually have an app, the Pickleball Drills app. It has hundreds of different drills and games so that you don't have to get to the court and be like, okay, what should we work on today? You can just click on volley drills and then it'll take you through a slew of different drills you can do with a partner, a ball machine, or a wall. So if you want to rapidly improve and keep your drilling sessions fun, be sure to check out the Pickleball Drills app. Also, links to everything that I've talked about in this video will be in the description. And Keith, let's get to that 4.0 level, my friend. Apply these tips and I promise that you will. And to all of you, thank you so much for the support. And if you want to know where and when to drive versus drop, watch this video right here. You're going to absolutely love it. See you on the next one.